Coming up on the Lakeside Loop, Lakeside reaches out to the community. Ben Buxa is scouted at a football showcase.
Forensics gets ready to begin, and Nolan Schweikart goes snowboarding. The Loop starts now. Welcome back to the Lakeside Loop. I'm Logan Wenzel.
And I'm Jonah Osmankowski. Mr. Lauber has been working to find ways to reach out to people and tell them about Lakeside. Today was Warrior for a Day, which is where 7th graders from different schools in the Federation are invited to see what a day at Lakeside could be like. It's also a great way for the kids to meet the people that could possibly be their future teachers and classmates.
Well, this was an opportunity to bring 220 7th graders into Lakeside to let them see what we have academically, but probably more importantly, what we offer them spiritually.
What do you mean?
Just a great time for them to also get to meet other 7th graders from the 20 other grade schools that will eventually be coming here. It's just an icebreaker for them, and even for some of the parents, it gives them an idea of what we do here. We had 10 different classes planned for them, so they did everything from a student-led class in the tech ed area or the art area to videography, to a history class. They had to fill out sheets so that they had to interact with kids from different schools to meet others, because sometimes that's the scariest thing. At the end of the day, most of them were pretty happy they met 5 or 10 other different people. So that's kind of what we did, and then we ate some pizza from Marty's Pizza in Brookfield, and after that we went roller skating and had an absolute blast.
Lakeside also has a new ad on Life 102.5, which has the ability to reach a larger audience.
As more families consider the option of a private, faith-based high school education, Lakeside Lutheran High School in Lake Mills invites you to discover the Lakeside difference.
All right, well, 102.5 I listened to. That's one of the radio stations I listened to, and my thought was, how could we reach out to parents that are concerned about their children's spiritual welfare? What would be the best way to do it? And why not do it on 102.5, a Christian radio station out of Madison? And so I just called them up and said, could we get something like this happening? And they said, yeah. I wrote a script and they put it together, and it just kind of happened.
Enrollment for the 2022-23 school year is open now. Find out more at llhs.org.
Make sure to listen for it.
Some people are disappointed when wintertime comes around, but Nolan Schweikart makes the most of it. He not only snowboards, but he also builds things to help him snowboard in his own backyard.
My dad snowboards, so I kind of took after him. I started in probably when I was like 4. Well, I'm always trying to get better at snowboarding, trying to learn new tricks, harder tricks. So I have a lot of rails out there, so I do a lot of rail tricks. So I warm up a bit, get into it, and then I start to do the tricks I know I'm comfortable on, and then I start to try to push myself, do scarier tricks that I might not be that comfortable on. So. For the rope tow, that's just continuous looping belt that goes around. I always wanted one, and before we're getting tow-ins with a snowmobile just up and down the hill. So I saw a YouTube video of one, and I'm like, oh, I can build that, that's not too hard. And some of the designs on there weren't the best, so I kind of made some tweaks and got it working to how I want it to. I first did it with an old dirt bike, but the dirt bike didn't have enough power, so then I upgraded to an old lawnmower. This year I've got it going good. It's old lawnmower, and down at the bottom I got a little tensioner, so it works good for me. I think the most people I've put on it last year was like 10 people, but I know I can do more this year, so we'll see what I can do this year. I've been messing around with snow guns and snowmaking. I'm at the point now where I can make pretty good piles of snow. So I think I tested it a couple weeks ago. It was made about a 4-foot tall pile, about 30 feet long, and about like an 8-hour run. So it's getting better, but it's just not out on my ski hill yet because it's just in our front yard.
Warrior football player Ben Buxa recently went to a showcase in McCook, Illinois, just outside of Chicago, where he got to show off some of his skills in front of coaches and scouts. He was tested on agility, balance, speed, and his explosive stance. Along with that, he played one-on-one to show his offensive and defensive abilities. We hope it went well, Ben.
Monday night, Lakeside's General Board called 4 new people to fill some positions in Lakeside staff. Ted Klug, who is currently serving at Martin Luther College, was called to be Lakeside's principal. Pastor Peter Korthels was called to be the senior religion teacher. He is currently serving at both St. Paul in Amherst, New Hampshire, and Beautiful Savior in South Portland, Maine. Dennis Leckley was called to be a freshman religion teacher, and Tanya Tomforty was called to teach lower math classes. Please keep them all in your prayers as they consider their calls.
Forensics tryouts were held last week, and the official forensics team was announced on Tuesday. This means they are ready to begin their season.
You see, I was 5 years old when she was born. I was the center of attention. My category that I am working on is called Prose, and the story I'm doing is titled Love. And it's about like 2 sisters who don't really like each other, but they realize that they really do love each other in the end. After that, they'd take me to the circus and buy me everything in sight. So you can see that for somebody else to just come along and steal the spotlight was a terrible blow. It's kind of like storytelling, where you get to like tell the story, but then it's also got a little bit of acting involved in it. While she was smothered with oohs and ahs.
Kind of indecisive about what topic I wanted to do, so impromptu sounded fun, so I just did it. When I was younger, I was deathly afraid of heights, to the extent that I couldn't go on an elevator or an escalator without getting weak in the knees. In impromptu, you're allowed 1 note card, your phone is a timer, and a pencil or a pen. And the judge gives you 3 prompts to pick from, and after you pick them and sit down, you have 5 minutes to write and say your speech. I was like, you know what? I'll show him. I'll go up there by myself, walk across it, take pictures, and prove to myself and to my family that I could conquer my fear.
I've always been encouraged by my parents to do it. They've always said that I would be really good at it. And I also thought it sounded really interesting, and I always saw other people doing it and it looked really fun. I remember one time I gave her a little shove and she fell out of the cradle. But she wasn't hurt though. I would say that if anybody wants to join forensics, they should definitely go for it. It's really fun so far, and I've only been in it for like a week. And I think if anybody is going to do anything that has to do with public speaking, forensics is for you.
Lakeside Forensics team has a very successful history, and we have no doubt that this year will be a continuation of their success.
During last week's show, we told you about the robotics team's first tournament. This week, Cooper Jensen tells us what happened.
I feel nervous, kind of, yeah.
Gonna win?
Yeah.
We placed 8th out of 20 teams, and we had in qualification matches, we were 3 and 5, so we won 3 matches, lost 3 matches. And definitely a lot of the challenges we had was weight distribution, so that definitely threw us off a little bit, so yeah. The most exciting thing was definitely when the matches were coming down to the final seconds and each team had, like, it was neck and neck. There's one team trying to get onto the teeter-totter with the same amount of goals we had, and if they bounced themselves on the teeter-totter, they would have won by a lot. And in the final few seconds, they came barely off centered and they completely fell off, and we ended up winning the match.
Yes, this is the part where we take everything apart and we just make loud noises and fun.
So we're starting over completely from scratch because our old robot, there was no saving the distribution thing, so we are completely restarting, adding more traction, making the mechanism better. But yeah, we will definitely come back from that though.
Great job, robotics team. Their next tournament will be on February 5th.
And now, you're in the loop. I'm Jonah Osmankowski.
And I'm Logan Wenzel. Thanks for watching.